Welcome to the Boomer Talk. This is episode 3 officially. It's Martin Luther King Day. We were supposed to do this last Friday, but we ended up playing Third Strike and Vampire Savior instead. So we wasted a lot of time with that, so we're gonna do it on Monday. Matt, how was your week?
It's fun. It's good to play some games.
Have you been doing anything else?
It's been the usual, getting some work done. Made a slightly new resolution for myself. So my idea right now is probably just to log into Fightcade. If I can get some matches on Vampire Savior, I'll do that. If I get some matches, if I can't, it'll be easier to just get into Steam, go play some Guilty Gear. And the idea is that's not too long, just play maybe 10, 15 matches a night, just to polish up those skills.
Yeah.
I feel it's gonna be, it's just a good way to unwind too, and it doesn't take too long, especially Vampire Savior. Like 15 matches, Vampire Savior, like 20 minutes.
What about your? I think you were starting like a T-shirt store or something, right?
I wanted to ask your friend about that.
I thought you already started it. I saw it on your like Instagram or something.
I considered it.
Oh.
I'm thinking about it, and I still need to do the designs for it as well. It's T Public, so it's a fairly well-known company.
You're doing like a lot. I think you're doing a lot in terms of like art and stuff. Like a lot of the art stuff I do is like offline. So I'm just waiting for like the convention to open back up so I can just throw everything out and stuff. But you're really on top of it. You're really on top of it for like the online stuff. Like I fucking suck at online stuff, dude.
I mean, that's one of the advantages of being able to draw as well. But I need to. I'm still considering things. I need to see and what we talked about last week too. There's some updates on that, but apparently with the new Japanese copyright law, you gotta see what's going on. But your friend Bar Station seems to have a lot of Capcom stuff, a lot of FGC related material.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten in trouble for that at all. He's doing pretty well. I'm pretty sure he's doing pretty well. I see him at home a lot, streaming Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So I think he's doing pretty well. Very very happy for him.
Yeah, but I just wanted to see if there's at least general interest in T-shirts at the moment. Yeah, how was your week? I'm mashing on Third Strike.
I was playing I was watching Cobra Kai season 3. Awesome series. Check it out if you have the time. Great follow up to the Karate Kid movies. I wasn't mashing it out on Third Strike. I was legitly trying to do combos and playing footsies and stuff. God damn it! Shout out to Jason for his cue, and shout out to Nerdy Bit for his Akuma. It was great playing with those guys. I played some more.
It up because when we were playing, like he was having a hard time getting in.
Oh yeah.
After I was just like, I don't know how to play this game, so I'm just gonna play footsies and make you work for every hit that you get.
I think he was doing pretty well in the beginning. He backed off a little bit more in like the later matches, and then he started playing like side characters. So I think that was like throwing him off a little bit. Like if he just stuck with the Kuma the entire time, I think he would have did a much better job in terms of like learning the matches, because Jason was sticking with Q and I was sticking with Alex. So then we were like learning more and more as we were playing more and more.
It's bringing back your defensive instincts. A good fighting gameplay is really about your defensive instincts and knowing which defensive options to use in what situation.
Oh yeah. Towards the end, when I was playing against Jason for the last, I think 5 to 7 games or something, like I was starting to rush it a little bit more. The last, I think 9 matches against him, it was like it was a little bit on the slow side, because we're playing like low tier characters, we have to capitalize on like mistakes high tier characters kind of make. So if they make a mistake or they stick a limb out or something, we have to punish them for it. The problem is like we're both of us are those types of characters. Both of us don't really have that many tools to like get in, so we're just kind of waiting for each other to move and make a mistake so we can capitalize on some damage. But the moment I started rushing in, Because then, like, as I was jumping in, I was starting to try to parry his anti-airs, but then they weren't coming out. So I was getting beat. I was getting beat. I think the score was like maybe 1-5 for like the second match against Jason, or 2-5. It was rough. But I wasn't hitting any Alex combos that I used to do like 5 or 10 years ago or something. So I'm gonna sharpen that up a little bit. You know, I played with like a lot of people on Sunday. Shout outs to those people. I can't remember all of you guys' names, but you know, good matches, good matches. Might pick up a pocket character like Remy or Necro, because I have like a history of like picking low tier characters. Like I just like the way they look. I don't even know that they're low tier.
All you had to do is say, "I'm gonna pick a Pocket Chun."
No, I don't want to do that. Dude, you picked Pocket Chun, I kicked your ass, man. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Of course you did. Don't play Third Strike.
It was fucking annoying, man. Like I was trying to get in, I was trying to do stuff, and all you were doing, you were just pressing it, hard punch, and hard kick. I'm just like, yo, come on, let me in.
You can imagine that I probably won most of those matches if I actually knew how to connect. If I knew all the connections to SA2.
Probably.
All those random hits I could have converted to what, 1/3 life damage.
Yeah.
On top of, was it her super jump double hard punch into Nick's mix up?
Well, that's what she's supposed to do, right? That's what she's supposed to do. But then like you kept changing characters. I was like, yo, Matt, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't play any of these characters. I know it.
Well, I don't play Third Strike, period. But
Oh man.
I can get away with Chun because it's relatively simple, but I don't know the execution on how to do how to do her after SA2 reset. So
Yeah. But it's just like, dude, come on, top tier character. You killing me. Chun's already broken. But okay, moving on. Finished up Fatal Frame 3. Had some gripes about it regarding character choice and one-hit KOs, but then again, I give it a pass because the MC is not a specialty soldier, and a regular person would probably have a bad time with like a hellish abomination or spirit or whatever it is. It's not bad. If you like old games, I would recommend Fatal Frame 3 over Fatal Frame 1 or 2. Capcom Cup
they create a very excellent atmosphere in those games.
You think so?
So I mean, especially if you're a fan of Japanese horror.
Mm-hmm. I noticed there were like a lot of references, like in a lot of the Japanese horror games that I was playing from like the past. There were a lot of references to like Sadako, and what was it? The Ring? The Ring was the movie, right? Yeah. There were a lot of references to that. Capcom Cup is canceled, possibly turned into an online event for Street Fighter 5.
It's permanent.
It's permanent?
I don't know. Like I wonder if it is, right? Because I know that Street Fighter 5 sales are definitely in the slumps, or they have been for a long while.
Yeah, but there's an audience. Well, there's enough of an audience for like a tournament, I guess, and you wouldn't advertise like Street Fighter 4 right now because they're banking, or they're not banking. They're just advertising the hell out of like Street Fighter 5 because it's the newest edition. You don't play like the older edition. You just play the newer edition. You know, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, like more people will want to play, what's it called? Smash Ultimate instead of Melee. Even though I personally think Melee is the better game. I can understand, like, they wouldn't want to advertise that over their flagship product, which is Ultimate, which is getting them the sales and stuff, you know?
They've been trying to kill Melee for a while.
Because it's competitive. It's competitive. It was never supposed to be played that way, right?
I guess that could be said about the entire Smash franchise, though. But then looking at the numbers, right? Who's the biggest? Is Smash or Tekken 7 bigger at the moment?
Oh, I would say Smash. Smash is bigger.
Smash is the bigger community.
Yeah, because like it. Okay, so I think Max was talking about this where when they introduce like guest characters, they're trying to reach to like a different audience. They're trying to put out their reach, like, come try out my game because I have your character in my game now. I think Smash Ultimate has that in spades. You know, like it has so many characters, so many guest characters compared to like Tekken. Tekken still does a good job. And I prefer watching Tekken. But it doesn't have as many guest characters as Smash Ultimate, and just from I would think Smash Ultimate sold more because it reaches like a larger audience.
Mhm. I also am just gonna make the assumption that casual Smash is funner than casual Tekken.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think Tekken is at least 50 to like 100% harder than getting into like Smash, because if you start off in Tekken and you go online, you're probably gonna get smashed. But if you play Smash, you're not gonna get smashed. You know? Like
Yeah. Well, no, I'm trying to think about it too, right? Like, what is the bottom ceiling to have fun in Tekken, and what's the bottom ceiling to have fun in Smash?
Smash would have like items on, they would have the brawl ball on, they would have like wacky stages, accidental deaths. Like there's a lot of random chance in the game, even when you take away like all the items.
Yeah,
Uh,
and stuff like blows up, and it's random, it's fun, and you get these like really crazy situations
but
versus like Tekken, where if you're a beginner person versus someone who's like moderately good.
yeah, but just passing thoughts. No need to cover Street Fighter 5 too much because I'm not the expert on it. You can go to OS Rick. That's OS underscore R1CK. If you want to know more about Street Fighter 5, usually he covers that. I feel like it's a good time to announce Street Fighter 6 at the end of this year, since I think this is the last season. This is the last season of Street Fighter 5, and their last character being, I think, Akira from Rival Schools. And Nerdy Bit mentioned this too, when there's supposed to be like one more character, maybe like Dudley, Oro. I don't know who the next character would be.
I ain't gonna lie, I really love the fact that the rival school characters are coming back.
Yeah, Akira's a really good choice. I was really happy with that pick. I might actually play her.
At the same time, it does not make me want to play SF5 at the least.
Yeah, it's understandable. I don't think in like our circle of like Third Strike players and I guess 90s fighting game players are too interested in Street Fighter 5. Like I just want to get like moderately good at it because I just want to understand it a little bit more. Like I talk trash about it all the time, but like for the Street Fighter 5 players, don't take it personally, dude. I don't have anything against it. It's just like if you like Street Fighter 5, you like Street Fighter 5. I still like you. Just don't hate me. There you go. I think I like watching the Tekken and the Dragon Ball Z Fighters tournaments. They're pretty hype. Did you manage to check out any of those?
No. I was watching the Co-op Cup for Third Strike. It was pretty late in the evening.
Yeah.
Because it was being run at I forgot the arcade's name, but it was being run in Japan, and they got some of that top tier players doing first to tens.
Oh yeah, that was really ridiculous. I think we stayed up like after the Boomer Talk to watch like the rest of those matches. Like I think the most ridiculous one was like it was the Makoto versus Ryu, and then Ryu was up by like 3. I think that was like Kuni versus Tominaga, right?
Maybe I don't remember,
Good.
but realize what was it? It was low parry, randomly tapping down the low parry, changed the game. Was 10 years ago, and now baiting low parries is the thing changing the game now.
Hugo's got that new red parry or whatever, right? The new red parry tech
that changed the game for Hugo, and really trying to get them to do dumb defensive options so that you can get your offense. It's like Vampire Savior. If you remember those videos that I sent to you.
Oh yeah. I was looking them over just to figure out like which character to play. I'm not an expert on like Vampire Savior, but Matt was teaching me some Vampire Savior after the Third Strike stuff. It was pretty fun game, man. Not bad.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you can mash buttons and have a lot of fun because it's so fast and furious. But if you have even someone who's moderately decent at at knowing the game, then yeah, they're gonna wreck you hard.
Yeah. I will say, Matt's QB was pretty terrifying. It was pretty terrifying. I was mashing like super hard. I was trying out every character and I was mashing super hard while Matt was like giving me lessons on this. But lots of fun. My boy Genki repping the Alex Nation, but he was absolutely eating those Hugo supers from Hayo. Close one though. That was like a 9-10 with Hugo winning at the first to 10. KSK
that one was probably one of the best matches of the night.
Dude, I was looking very carefully at that match because I'm just like, damn, I haven't seen somebody play Alex in a really long time. I was just really happy. I was really happy to see it on stream and stuff. Good matches though.
Did Kuroda play co-op?
Oh, I don't think so. No, he didn't.
Man, he didn't show?
Yeah. That's okay. The other Alex expert I was looking for was KSK, but he wasn't there either. But I'm hoping they participate in the future. You know, I love seeing Third Strike. I love playing Third Strike. Everything about it. You know, I want everything to do with it. I know Maximilian. He ran the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament. That was pretty hype too. Like, I think he was near 40,000 viewers, so good on him, dude. Good on him.
Congrats.
Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people like Marvel 3. Did you like Marvel 3, Matt?
Yeah, Marvel 3 is a different beast than Marvel 2, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because they wanted to balance the cast out a little bit better, and it turns out they made a game that was equally as degenerate.
Yeah. 0 loops for days, lots of Virgils and stuff. Like, I'm not complaining. Like, it's just what I observe. It's just what I observe and what many people have said over the years to me. It's like Virgil and 0 loops. Those two, you know?
I will say I do enjoy the fact that it has more viable teams. Especially when you look at Morgan teams versus Dark Phoenix teams, or Strider teams versus something like one based around Doom.
Yeah. I think there's like a couple players that are repping the Rocket Raccoon, and I always thought he was like a super weak pick. But then when I watch them play, I really want to pick him up. I really want to pick up Rocket Raccoon, you know? Pretty awesome.
Yeah, Rocket. Who was playing Rocket? There was a really good player picking up Rocket and setting a lot of rushdown traps.
Yeah, I think it was probably an American player, but I can't remember his name.
Then there's a team meet with Kane Blue River.
Okay, there was a tournament yesterday for Street Fighter 4 that Justin participated in. Had a good time watching that for a bit. I wasn't aware people were still running like tournaments for like Street Fighter 4. I mean, it was a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I like it better than Street Fighter 5. But like, I didn't think anybody was still playing it or putting out prize pools for it. You know. Did you have a good experience with Street Fighter 5, Matt?
No, I don't even think I had a good experience with Street Fighter 4.
Oh,
to be 100% honest.
Oh yeah,
like,
Street Fighter 4.
I'll play it if there's people to play, but I'm not exactly a particular fan of the game. Like Third Strike, I don't play it, but at least I respect it. 4 is like, it's okay.
But it's like back to grassroots though. I thought you would like it more. Like, I thought you would have like a higher opinion of 4 because it was more Super Turbo-ish, and then you really like Super Turbo, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah, I'm terrible at Super Turbo, but I love Super Turbo.
Yeah.
If you talk about my favorite Street Fighter to play, it's probably Alpha 2.
Alpha 2?
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't gotten around to like practicing Alpha 2 yet. Like, I played a couple times in the arcades, and then it wasn't for me. But I really want to go back and try to mess around with some of the V-isms and stuff. I want to do like the custom combos and stuff. Those look like so much fun.
Alpha 2 doesn't have any of the isms, so...
Oh, it's Alpha 3 that has the isms?
Yeah, that's Alpha 3 that has the isms. So Alpha 2, every character has all the options.
I hear you.
Which makes it pretty awesome, as long as you don't have people... Well, even if you have people really good at ICCs, just go back to them.
I will say, like, a lot of the people in my Twitch friend list, even people who don't normally stream like fighting games, I've seen them play like Super Turbo. Like I was like really surprised by like the large number of people on my Twitch friend list that play Super Turbo, and it made me want to go back and learn it just so I could play with them or have like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of collaboration or some shit. But I just want to play some of these old school fighting games with these other boomers or these other people who were there during like the arcade days.
Was it Super Turbo is like art fundamentals?
Mm-hmm.
You will not suffer from being good at this game.
Mm.
And I feel that honestly, guys, the old school guys, the super old school guys, the reason why they're able to compete in modern games is because their Super Turbo fundamentals are so good.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that.
Super Turbo generation would be
John Choi?
Valle, yeah, Choi, Valle,
I thought
Daigo.
Valle. Yeah.
Guys who are just a little bit older.
Yeah.
5 to 7 years older than Jay Wong and Ricky.
Yeah. But I think Jay Wong started like super young, going to like Chinatown arcades. But I don't know. You're probably right, man. You're probably right. The new trailer for King of Fighters 15 is super short, super bare. It kind of
is there a new one?
Yeah, it's with the new character Shune or some shit. I don't really like that character.
Oh, doesn't he look like Kenso? Or no, who's the new kid with the headphones and everything? Oh no, it is, yeah, Shune. He's the one from 14, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, he was supposed to be like,
You know, the sure are.
yeah. I mean, what's kind of cool with like the flame effects and stuff, but he's not as cool as like Nameless.
Like, bro, those AKGs are not a good pair of headphones to wear while fighting.
No, it really isn't.
But he doesn't really show off what he can do because it's mostly just cinematics from his supers, isn't it?
Correct. It's just very generic stuff. Nothing on the new combo system. I'm hoping they bring up back the custom combo system, at least from King of Fighters 13. I know it made like
you want that DM system.
Dude, I want it so bad. Just so like you could do like so super sick combos and shit. Oh man. But like this one,
I feel like that's the system that broke 13.
It was. I can agree with that.
The best characters ended up with the ones with the easiest confirm for those DM combos, and so it created a unnecessary layer of tier. And I actually think that KF13 might have been a better game without it.
Really?
Well, 13 without it would have been an updated 98.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But King of Fighters 14, I guess, was more faithful to like the older games. Like I know it didn't sell as well, but it played very well. And it was more faithful to the older systems because it didn't have the custom combo system.
Yeah, if you got into 14, it honestly isn't a bad game. It's just really ugly.
Yeah, it's really bad. I don't know why they brought back this, I guess, this style.
They didn't bring it back. They've introduced it in 14 when you had those beautiful sprites from 13.
No, like in 15. I don't know why they brought it back.
Oh yeah.
Like Leona doesn't look as good as her 13 counterpart, and she looks like I have a bias towards her because I really like her, but 14 she looks really bad. 15 she doesn't look that much better. Shune looks a little bit better because there's like I don't know what's called, like shadows or more bolder lines like on his character, so you can kind of see like some of the definition in like his hair and his movements and his flame effects and stuff, which is kind of nice. It kind of looks more like Samurai Showdown, but it doesn't really look like Samurai Showdown. Like I know they have the capacity to do this well, because Samurai Showdown looks fucking amazing. It looks fucking amazing, and I want to play it purely because it looks fucking amazing. But then you move over to this game, it's just like, eh. It looks ugly as shit, man.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what I was saying earlier. Does KOF 15 look good, or does it just look much better than 14?
Yes, 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 yes to both of those.
What is actually going on? But
Yeah.
does it look better than Samurai? Like, that's kind of debatable.
I think
At
like
least you're right. The rendering engine is much better.
I think like Samurai just has like it has like the paintbrush style of like Street Fighter 4, which was like I think one of its strengths. Street Fighter 4 didn't look very good. But with like the paintbrush strokes and stuff, it looked fantastic. It looked fantastic and like the art and stuff, and I thought Samurai Shodown did a good job with that, you know?
Yeah, I feel at least Samurai Showdown is stylized enough.
Mm-hmm.
But just to be honest here, I think everything looks pretty awful compared to Arxis render engine.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I think like I'm just comparing it to like previous King of Fighter games, but when I compare it to like modern fighting games, not so great. Not so
I
great.
would say in terms of King of Fighters, 13 was probably the height of their graphics.
Yes. Yes, because they were using sprite cell shading and stuff. It looked really, really good. But I think like for these weird 3D, 2D fighting games, they don't look very good. Like Street Fighter 5 I don't think looks very good. Same thing with like King of Fighters 15 and 14. Doesn't look very good. It has some strengths with like the camera angles and stuff. You know when Zangief does like a spinning pile driver or something, and then it changes like the camera angle and stuff. Like yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I think one of the big things with Street Fighter 5 too is the motion. There's the clothing, the hair, everything looks kind of stiff in that game.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't move very naturally.
Yeah.
Versus even Samurai Showdown with Haomaru and his baggy pants, there's a little bit more bounce to it. There's a little bit more flow.
Yeah. You can kind of see it in his hair too. And they had that all the way back to like I think like Samurai Showdown 3 or whatever, where his hair was like really, really big and his stance was like wider and stuff. You could see like the bounce in his hair, like the small details. The small details are fantastic. I've also checked out Final Fight Ultimate LNS thanks to my friend Mad X Zero. He was playing that game on like the hardest difficulty. But what this is, it's if you ever played like a Final Fight, it's like a beat 'em up. Yeah. But you only get 2 lives for like this entire game. But the cast consists of around 70 sprite-based characters plus 11 secret characters. And each of them, they have special moves like stuck in with the option to like parry and use supers to like further extend your combos and stuff. Like if you think about like Tekken, there's like a juggle system where you do a combo when you do a juggle. It's the same principle. The same principle.
But for that, was Final Fight the one where if you do special moves, it takes away it takes life bar to do it?
Yes, they have an option for that, but it's like a get off me option. It takes like a little bit of health, but it's like a get off.
I'm kind of tempted to play at this moment.
Dude, there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of fucking characters. They got characters from Street Fighter Alpha, Third Strike, Alien, Captain Commando, Punisher, Darkstalkers, King of Fighters, Rival Schools, and a lot of original characters.
They have Nick Fury.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot, but it's a lot of fun. We might play that on stream someday. It's super hard. They also have this volleyball game where you combo like a bad guy, and then you toss him back and forth between like these trash cans, and then like if it lands on your side, the other person gets a point. It's fun. It's pretty fun, but it's hard to get people to get on and play the game. It's fun. Would you be interested in trying it, Matt?
Yeah, I don't mind jumping in if I had the time.
Yeah. A lot of even like the charge characters like Guile. They have a lot of their special moves denoted as like quarter circle forwards or double quarter circle forwards with like one button or something. So it's pretty easy to like pick up. It's pretty easy to pick up. Maybe we'll do like another segment where it's like the third strike or whatever. Like that would be like Boomer fights. This would be like, I guess, Boomer beat 'em ups, something like that. You know.
I think maybe we should just open up another channel with Boomer Gaming.
Oh, maybe I'll like test the waters, and then like I'll make like cuts and edits of like the most hypest moments and try to keep the video under like I think 10 or 15 minutes. That seems like a good area or something.
Oh, yeah. Rather than just having them just putting up the raw gameplay.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit too much. Like I like to play these games for like long periods of time. Like the third strike one, I think we started at 8. We ended at like 11:40 or something. That's a long time, dude. Long time.
You don't think that it's eating up that much time when you're actually playing it?
Yeah, because you're having so much fun. And then when you have fun, you lose track of time. Whereas like when you get bored, it's like time seems to go like super slow.
You guys to train up on some vampire and some Guilty Gear?
Exactly. Provide some fun matches for you guys to watch if you guys are interested in that.
Is this version of Final Fight, do they give you more healing items?
Okay, so they give you some healing items. There's like a small, medium, large, super large, extra large for like different healing items and stuff. There's also crap, where it's like if you pick up the crap, you actually lose life, and then like the the description on it is like it's crap. What'd you expect?
Because I'm watching a playthrough right now on mute, and it looks like the healing drops are relatively frequent.
Yeah. Like
I guess it's mainly because they expect you to use your stamina eating moves more often. So you'll be eating into your life bar more often.
Yeah. So like some of the items they give you experience, like not all of them heal. Some of them give you like more experience, and it'll make your super meter go up. So you start off with like 100 out of 100 super meter, and when you want to do a super, you have to have 100. I'm gonna call it MP. But when you level up, it slowly goes up. So it goes up by I think increments of like 10. So as you level up more and more, you'll be able to do supers more oftenly. And when you do special moves, that also eats up like your MP meter. So like EX moves in like Street Fighter.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Let's see. Mortal Kombat HBO 2021 looks pretty damn good.
Are they making a new one?
Yeah, they're making a new one on like HBO. There was like a small trailer for it.
Oh, you mean it's gonna be a TV series ish?
Yes. I'm really excited. I'm really excited actually. Like it looks pretty good so far. It's pretty edgy. It's got most of the main characters with like 1 or 2 fatalities at the end. I think Katana chops off like a person's head at the end. Choreography looks on point. I don't recognize most of the cast list, but I'm pretty excited, dude. Like, do you have any experience with like fighting game movies, man?
Oh no, but you gotta understand that the Mortal Kombat movie was one of the best. Well, was at one point the best video game based movie that was available, right?
Yes. I will
back
say
in the day when video game movies were absolute shit tier.
Yes. Dude, Mortal Kombat was the fucking best. I still watch it sometimes. Like in my downtime and stuff. It's good. It's good.
You can't hate Johnny Cage in that movie.
No, you can't. He did a fantastic job. Like I think the entire cast did a fantastic job for what it was, and comparing it to like other shitfests like Street Fighter the movie, or what else came around? The Wizard. That was a horrible movie. Awful.
The Mario movie.
Yeah.
I will say the Street Fighter movie, in a way, is also a moment of brilliance.
Really? Why do you say that?
Oh, come on. You don't like lines like quick, change the channel.
Okay. That was one scene. It was one scene with Zangief. Okay, that was the only funny moment in the entire movie.
I almost imagined that line was ad libbed,
Mm-hmm.
and then the entire cast actually turned around and was like, "Are you fucking serious, dude?" Like that wasn't planned. They turned around and they actually looked at him like, "Are you fucking serious?" Vice's lines were excellent.
Oh yeah. I think it's
For you, it was the greatest day of your life.
Yeah.
It was the most important day of your life.
Yeah.
To me, it was Tuesday.
Yeah. Raul Julia, I think that was his name. He did a really good job.
Press F. Press F for respects.
Yeah, yeah. I think his kids pushed him into that movie. Like he didn't initially want to do the movie, but then like his kids pushed him into that movie. And then what happened was after he did that movie, he died.
Oh my god.
It's
Poison
awful.
bucks.
God damn it. You got flash kicked a little bit too hard by Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know. His flash kick was too strong. Did you ever check out the Mortal Kombat Legacy in 2011? It was like a YouTube miniseries.
No.
No? Oh, they did a pretty good job with it. It was like short stories with tons of violence, a lot of authenticity in like the fights. I was actually really impressed.
Oh no, I did watch these. They're
like super short.
Yeah, the short films. The Scorpion story was pretty good.
I like the Kenshi one.
The Sub-Zero one bugged me.
Oh yeah, is that the one where like fucking it shows like Sub-Zero killing like Scorpion's family or something?
Oh no, it bugged me because he has this horrific American accent and is Japanese, but they insisted on making his lines all Japanese.
Oh yeah. I can understand that. But overall, I would say
it's like when you hear someone fake the cowboy accent really badly, and you know they're trying to ham it up as hard as they can.
Yeah. But I don't think they had the budget to like get, I guess, better actors. Because I know Charlie Hunnam does a really good job at hiding his English accent when he plays like American characters and stuff. Same thing with like Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes. I didn't even know he was like British or something, you know? It's weird. It's weird hearing him talk with like a British accent.
The Sub-Zero story is actually really good because you really get the sense that, like, wow, this guy was an asshole.
Who was? That's why you're always on Scorpion's side, man. Scorpion's the coolest.
Except in the game, Scorpion's the villain.
He looks like the villain because he has the skull face and he was brought back from the dead. He's got kind of like the hellish vibe going on, you know. One of his fatalities is he pulls you to hell. He sounds like a bad guy. He looks like a bad guy.
Was it in the original Mortal Kombat storyline that he's supposed to be one of the villains?
Yep. Can't believe it. Tragic.
You go to the backstory. It's like, oh shit. Okay. Was it Kano who had the first Legacy short?
Oh, I think so. No. It was Liu Kang being like super drunk in like a bar or something, and then Kung Lao goes to get him and stuff, and then Liu Kang starts a fight in the bar. Liu Kang like swears a lot in that.
Who was it who got his ass kicked in the apartment?
Oh crap, dude! I haven't watched him in like forever.
I don't think it was Johnny Cage.
Couldn't be Johnny. Striker? Any Striker?
Was it Striker? There's also a Reptile episode too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think canonically, if it was like Cabal or something, it would make more sense. It would make more sense because there's always something horrific happening to like Cabal, and then they retcon it so some other bad thing happens to him. So then he has to wear the mask or the protective gear or some shit. You know, might have been Cabal. Now I'm trying to look it up. See, it's interesting. Even now, it's like it's good to like go back and then check it out and stuff. That's Mortal Kombat Legacy in 2011. You can check out the miniseries on YouTube. Did you check out the Street Fighter Assassin's Fist in 2014, Matt? Maybe? Like, did you see like 1 or 2 episodes or something, or like small clips or whatever?
Yeah, that's the issue with a lot of web series. I watch a couple episodes and then they take a couple months to produce the new ones, and then so I kind of forget that they exist. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, I think I watched the first 2.
Yeah, dude, they did a good job. Like in terms of like looks, in terms
choreography
of
looks really good.
Exactly. Choreography was really, really good too. The characters look on point.
Except Goki. Goki looks a little wonky.
Uh,
That onion thing's not.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's one of those designs that just does not look good in real life.
I guess I always pictured Goku like when you see like old masters, old masters who are like past their prime, but they're supposed to be like super like they're supposed to be like the teacher, the teacher in like an anime or like a video game. They're like super buff. They're like super buff. So like Master Roshi, Goken, like characters like that. But then when you put
It
them in
looks on
real
point.
life, it looks on point.
I think Goken looks on point. He's a little scrawny, but he looks on point.
Oh, I think he could be like a tiny bit buffer. Tiny bit buffer. But
It's the spiky hair just does not look great in real life. I don't think there's any real life rendition of Goku that looks good. You know, there's no good real life rendition of Dragon Ball.
That's correct. That's correct. I completely agree with that. I think the Street Fighter characters are a little bit easier to get right because their hairstyles don't look as crazy, you know?
Yeah, Ken and Ryu should in general you can get some pretty good cosplay of that, especially if you can get guys who are trained to do fight choreography, and you can make a pretty decent short film just built around that.
Yeah, yeah. Funny story. Like the actors for Ken and Ryu, they bought some stuff from me at Anime Impulse. Nice dudes. Nice dudes.
Oh, good shit.
Yeah. The Ken is Christian Howard. He looks exactly how he appears in the movie. Like he's buff as shit, dude. He is buff as shit. Same thing with like Mike Mo as Ryu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good people. Good people, dude.
It's also the stylization. What's his name? Itami,
Mhm.
the character designer at Capcom. I kind of feel like his designs went a little too far for Third Strike. That's my opinion of it.
That's understandable. You're talking about like the championship edition where they redrew everything, or like the original designs for like new generation.
Oh no, you recognize his artwork immediately by his massive deltoid and feet. So gigantic shoulders and gigantic feet are his signature designs. And that just got amplified in Third Strike, and the stylization continued into 4 and 5.
I will say Makoto has some pretty big feet. Don't want to get kicked by those. You got stinky feet in your face.
And then it was Ono's designs that are super thick in the thighs. That's why the Chun-Li design for Third Strike was Ono's work.
Yeah, I thought the Chun-Li design in Third Strike it looked perfect. It wasn't like too overly buff, but it's how I pictured Chun-Li would be if she was like in real life. She wouldn't be like, I think, overly buff. She would be like slender, lean, quick, you know. So like,
if you look at the frame, she's still pretty thick.
Yeah, she's still pretty thick. Like when she does the super or whatever, she still looks pretty damn thick. But like you don't really see that in like her initial idol pose and stuff.
But
like,
I think if you look at Alpha 2 sprites, the Third Strike sprites, it's literally doubled when it comes to the thighs.
Yep. Chun-Li looked good in that too. Alpha, she looked fantastic. I also I'm kind of like bewildered by like this kind of flood of like really good fighting game movies and shorts and stuff. Like I'm amazed because then like we're coming from a time where like the video game movies aren't great and video game movies still aren't great, and when you play a fighting game you don't exactly play for the story. You want to go take out like the largest dude who's playing like Chun-Li or something. I don't know, like off the top of my head, it's like you want to go kick some ass and stuff. But I think the turning point for me, in my opinion, on like fighting game movies was probably Balrog, Behind the Glory. It's like based on Balrog, and then Matador based on Vega, and then they were like delving into like their backstories. They didn't have the greatest budget in the world. It's made by Chubby Boy Films. Chubby Boy Films. So if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. They have some pretty no-name actors, but they do such a good job. Have you seen it before, Matt? The Balrog Behind
Yeah,
the Glory? Yeah?
the short films, right?
Yeah. What'd you think?
They're good. I personally, this works better than feature film,
You think so?
at least for fighting games. You may like a character. I don't know if you want to sit down for 2.5 hours of this.
Mm-hmm.
So when you run these 10-15 minute shorts, it works really well because it's condensed, it's focused. Either that, or you can just run it similar to Mortal Kombat Legacy, where they run a very light background, so you just have just enough information so you know what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have some very, very good fight choreography to go behind it.
Oh.
I think it works best with the on block effect,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, have you seen on block, right?
Yeah. The Thai kickboxer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where it's so good that it doesn't need a plot. Like halfway through his fighting, it looks amazing and the choreography looks so good.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's this about? And honestly, you're probably in the mind frame of like, who the hell cares?
Yes. I understand that. I think a majority of like Jackie Chan films are like that too. Like I like watching what's it? Drunken Master and Rumble in the Bronx and Super
Yeah.
Cop and stuff. Those films are fantastic just because like Jackie's doing like such good choreography and the stunts are amazing and stuff, and you kind of forget about the story. I guess it's made for like adrenaline junkies like us, or at least back in the day, you know?
That's the fun part about it, where how long were the sequences for Jackie Chan movies? I imagine they were at least 12-15 minutes, and then some of them probably ran for a good 20-30.
They were really long, dude. They were really, really long. I think in Rumble in the Bronx, there's like one where Jackie runs up a parking structure by using like the on ramps and stuff, and then he also climbs like chain link fences, and then he hops off of a diving truck that's going off a cliff onto like another platform on the opposite building that's like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 feet away. It was pretty damn crazy, man. Jackie goes all in on those.
Yeah, and the rooftop scene was really long too. I remember that was at least 20 minutes if I remember correctly.
Yes. Jackie works really hard. Okay, but shout out to Chubby Boy Films. If you guys haven't checked it out, that is Balrog Behind the Glory again. He hasn't made a film in like a really long time. I believe Balrog Behind the Glory actually debuted at one of the Evos, and he's been quiet for some time. We haven't heard from him for like a long time, like since like 2014, but be sure to go follow him, support him, give him some words of encouragement. Really great filmmaker. Encourage him to do more, please. I would love to support anything that man does. Okay.
The hard part about it too, because he does fan films, is he might not have been able to monetize.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have all come from either donations or a Patreon, or I don't know how he's planning to support himself, but because his film sort of blew up and it was a fan film, that he's very likely unable to monetize it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he has the license with Capcom. I don't know the details behind anything though.
Yeah, but I think if you got a deal with Capcom, I would welcome it like a lot or something. You know, like I mean, Street Fighter Assassin's Fist got the okay, right? Like they did an entire series, so I think this guy can take it further. You know, I really believe in this dude. You know, I hope the best for him. I hope he's okay, even during like this whole crisis thingy or whatever. But I hope that guy's all right. Support him in any way you can, you know. But we're gonna move on to news. The Kyoto Animations fire. So recently, the arsonist of the Kyoto Animations deadly arson attack revealed which scene in the archery club anime Tsurune was stolen from his story submission. If our listeners don't know, the arson attack against Kyoto Animations was in July 2019, in which the building was set ablaze and claimed at least 36 people, while also injuring an additional 33. The perpetrator that was arrested in March of 2020 was Shinji Aoba, and after a lengthy investigation into his questionable burns during his hospitalization, he was arrested. Only recently has Shinji Aoba told investigators, quote, The thing Kyoto Animation copied from me was the scene in Sarune where the main characters buy discounted meat, which takes place during episode 5 of Sarune back in November 2018. The studio previously confirmed they received a submission from the writing competition from Aoba, but his piece was set aside after the first round of judging and has, quote, no similarity to any of Kyoto Animation works. What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
That's hard to say though. I haven't actually watched Student A either.
I haven't watched it either, but like,
This is really low key.
yeah. I believe it just came out like 4 days ago. I wanted to mention it like on Friday, but
You're talking about the news came out, right?
yeah, the news came out and where he revealed like which scene was stolen from him. Like this is a very very tragic situation. I remember seeing like the Kyoto Animations article like probably a year ago. I know there's like a lot of people still supporting Kyoto Animations, but I do know there's like instances of I think big time studios stealing from like small time writers or small time artists by putting out like these competitions and stuff. Do you think there are more cases of that, Matt?
I think there's definitely documented cases of that happening, on the U.S. side. It wouldn't surprise me if it happened over there either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just surprised. Well, it's hard to say because I kind of need to know the context. I want to read what he originally wrote and submitted. I don't know if that's public, but they said episode 5 there's a scene where they buy discount meat, which
Correct.
is fairly common, especially among students and people, or they call them, was it the rabbit aunties? I think around 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon every day, a lot of supermarkets in Japan, they start discounting things that they want to get rid of that day. So the housewives who want to prep dinner will wait for that exact time moment and they'll rush into the supermarket to grab all the discount goods. It's a fairly common occurrence. It's hard to say whether or not they ripped off the scene.
I thought it was
Not to say even if they did that they deserve to be burned in the building.
a over exaggeration on what's his face. Was it Shinji Aoba? It was a big exaggeration on Shinji Aoba's part. He should not have done that.
Yeah, that's the thing where he says it's stolen.
Yeah. And then like the way you explained it, where it's like it's a common occurrence. It's a common occurrence in Japan where people try to get in on the last day to buy like the discounted meat. It just makes what he did all the more wrong because it's like it's such a vague scene. It's like, there's a lot of people who would have thought of like the same instance, and it would be hard to classify this as his original idea.
Yeah, his original scenario, right? Unless
Correct.
we go over both sequences and say, okay, those lines are very similar, or that joke or that gag, very specific chain of events happen.
It wasn't like The Lion King in like 1994. Because I know The Lion King had a much bigger issue. They took a little bit too much from the Japanese film Kimba the White Lion in 1965 by Osamu Tezuka. Like Disney stated they took inspiration from like Hamlet, but when you look at it side by side, the shots, the setting, the names, I mean, come on. Simba for Lion King, Kimba for White Lion. Scar even looks eerily like the same lion as the antagonist of Kimba the White Lion. His name's Claw.
I think on YouTube there's at least 7 scenes where they go shot by shot, and it's pretty blatant. You can see how they took certain scenes.
See, like I can understand that. I can understand that in terms of like stealing an entire script. Like it looks like blatant plagiarization. It looks like blatant plagiarization.
You can say that there is the potential that yes, maybe Kyoto Animation did steal the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't justify what he did, but
No, it doesn't.
With all the information, with none of the information being made public, it's hard to say. My guess is he's probably facing the death penalty.
Probably that's a lot of people. A lot of people he messed up, dude. A lot of people messed up just for like this one scene. Like I don't want to encourage violence like at all. If somebody has wronged you, I guess I would push you more towards looking for like a legal solution to it rather than a violent solution to it. I'm sure like none of
Probably,
these what?
I don't know. I was about to say this is probably like the worst outcome of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very tragic. So moving on. So Capcom versus SNK3 apparently in development at one point. In a quote from former King of Fighters series director Toyohisa Tanabe, right before Fighting All-Stars got started, there was another fighting game that got stopped during development. I believe he is talking about Capcom Fighting All-Stars, since that was supposed to release in 2003 along with King of Fighters Maximum Impact. So they were trying to shift from like 2D to like 3D at that time. And I think that would have made sense time-wise to make like CVS 3. The article goes like a little bit further in where there was confirmation from Hideki Itsuno, who was director of CBS 2, that Capcom versus SNK 3 was in fact in development but was cancelled. Partly because of SNK's bankruptcy. Would you want like a CVS 3 in like a 3D style?
No.
No. Did you have fond memories of like was it Street Fighter EX? Was that the series, right?
EX was okay. I feel Project Justice was the better 3D series.
Yeah. But then
If I were to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
I really, really like Project Justice stuff.
Project Justice, pretty damn good game. I remember King of Fighters Maximum Impact not looking great. I remember Street Fighter EX not looking great. It was really weird to see them in like 3D and stuff.
I will say one of the biggest disappointments with KOF Maximum Impact was that their character designer at the time was Falcon, if you remember who he is.
Yeah.
And he did some amazing costume work and redesigns for the characters since it was 3D and you could change out their models much easier than replacing sprites in a 2D game.
Oh yeah, I think one of your favorite costumes is it's the Mai costume with like the black kimono or whatever, right?
Yes, and he did some crazy good redesigns for KOF during that era, which is really unfortunate because I feel honestly that those designs would have worked very well for 13.
It would have been nice to have like alternate costumes like that, like actual alternate costumes, not like color swaps and stuff. Looking back on KOF Maximum Impact, one of the strengths would probably be like the costumes. Like they went all out. It was an actual DLC costume that you got for free with like the game. It looked really, really good.
And if they were going to do the 3D models, I honestly feel like he should have tried to make it look like Falcon's artwork.
I understand that.
Falcon basically just likes to draw Mai and Ash, though.
Why do people like drawing Ash? Well, what's this obsession with Ash that I don't know about?
Ash is the trap boy.
Yeah, he's a trap boy. He had like 3 games about him. He's like lightning. Looks good. Gets 3 games. There you go.
They tried to make him the main hero. He was the main focus in O2.
Yeah, I think he was still a main character in like was it 11? 11, 12, 13. Like during the saga after the Nest saga, he was the main character for like a long time. Getting back to the article, shortly after we finished Capcom vs SNK 2, we started working on a 3D version of Capcom vs SNK 3 for the PlayStation 2. Stated Itsuno. Capcom vs SNK 3 was meant to be the last 2D fighting game, but it ended up becoming a 3D game along the way, and then SNK folded, and that project got canceled too.
Oh, that was during the bankruptcy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was during the bankruptcy in 2001, where their games were not selling very well. I think they renamed themselves to like just SNK so they could buy back all their intellectual properties. I'm actually still surprised they're like alive today because they went through bankruptcy like once. There was nothing in 2017 for their game releases. 2016 King of Fighters 14 Undersoul, SNK Heroines, that was a disaster. In 2018, slight focus on mobile games.
I wish that game was better because I think graphically
it looks good.
The game looked good.
Yes, it looks good.
Play-wise, it wasn't bad, except that it did not have any of the mechanics of a classic fighting game.
I think that's why a lot of people like Pandit. But in terms of like the costumes and the way it looks, alright, call me a degenerate, but like, dude, that game looks pretty damn good. It looks pretty damn good for like the trashy costumes and the non-trashy costumes. Good job on that. You know.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, the my cow costume is very very 2021.
It's very fitting. It's very fitting if you ask me. I think a lot of cosplayers were getting on board with like the cow costume. Anime too. Anime too.
Kind of down with that. I'm not gonna oppose that.
A lot of them like do the cow bikini with like the horns and stuff. You know, like I've seen it very oftenly in like animes and in real life. It was like
Hey, if you like
commonplace.
it, I'll do it as well.
Stop, stop it. Oh man, I'm pretty sure Fate would do that. Fate probably has done that, right? They did it in the cow costume.
I don't know if I've seen the cow costume officially.
What was the one that HP Domo showed us? The one with the cow costume, and then she was like on like a motorcycle or something. Was that Fate? Was that something else?
Might have to get in contact with HP Domo.
Oh man, I remember you showed me that though. I thought like the cow costume was like popular or whatever.
I mean, it is 2021, so
Yeah. But you know, King of Fighters 13, great game, but I don't think it's sold as many units as they wanted to.
maybe not in the United States, but for sure, there's a lot of people who still play it.
There's a very hardcore fan base for it. It's just that in terms of like sales numbers, they didn't get the numbers. SNK didn't get them the sales numbers that they wanted. And I thought they were always like skating by for like a long time. Like I was a big fan of the works, but I knew they were like they had a lot of like money troubles and stuff. Like I'm surprised like King of Fighters All Stars, the mobile game actually took off and they're earning some money from that and surviving off of that. Samurai Showdown did pretty good. It sold twice the amount of copies as King of Fighters 14. Um,
It's one of those very unfortunate things about SNK that that their whatever hardware they're using was very easy to hack. So a lot of their worldwide appeal came from the fact that their machines were basically being hacked and people were just playing on illegal ROMs.
yep.
Generations and generations.
But then, like, I think that added to its popularity because I know there's like a surprising community of like King of Fighters players here in California, and there's also a pretty hardcore base in Asia as well as I think
America.
yeah, South America, Mexico, and stuff like that. They got their fans. They got a lot of their fans, and probably the hack ROMs contributed to that. Would that be safe to say?
Versus Bala.
Yeah. That was super hype. That was super. I was rooting for Ball the entire time, and I'm like an American patriot, you know. But I wanted Ball to win.
King pulled out his stupid Kim.
I think he couldn't come back to the States to play at the following Evo or something, or maybe King of Fighters 13 was like taken out of the roster. One of those two. One of those two.
Oh, I thought the rumor was he had a kid and he couldn't come up to SoCal as much anymore.
Oh man, that might have been it too. Ball was.
I don't know if you heard about what was Super Arcade Watts.
Yeah.
That he got a visit. Apparently, he got a visit from the INS because to get guys like Bala and the other Mexican players up, he was sponsoring day pass visas.
Mm-hmm.
So they cross the border, come in, play their games, and then go back home the next day.
Yeah.
But because he was doing it week after week and sometimes twice a week, that he signed over 700 J visas, or he sponsored them. So then the feds paid him a visit. It's like, hey, what the fuck is going on here? He's like, no, it's cool. They just come in, like they play video games because they're really good players, and then they go home.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing shady going on. We're just playing video games here, bro.
I think like one of my friends was actually on one of those. I think he was like a really strong like Zangief player. He used to come by like my very small group of fighting game enthusiasts. Shout out to Freedomonio. I still have my jersey. Couldn't stay in like the States for too long, and then we had to throw like a going away party for him because then we weren't gonna see him again for like a really long time because he had to go over the border and then I think his permit expired or something.
Yeah, so you guys probably, if you really wanted him there, you'd have to be sponsoring him on a day pass visa or something.
Correct. It sucks when good players have to just skate on by, you know.
Actually, can you give me a minute? I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick.
Sure. If there's anybody in the chat that is listening to us right now, we thank you so much. We're gonna close up pretty soon. There's just like one or two more things that I wanted to say before Matt gets back. Third Strike is the prettiest Street Fighter? I don't know. Third Strike, I like the way it looks, but I don't know, it could be like a little bit more sharper, I think. I in terms of like looks for like sprite based games for Street Fighter, I think Alpha probably looks the best. When they're like all young and happy and energetic and they don't look like they've actually worked a job. Like when you go to Street Fighter 5, they look like they actually worked a job, and then they're like, I'm just tired of life. Just put me out of my misery. Like you can see that in like fucking Birdie's design, where he's like fat and out of shape and stuff. And then he like trips over himself sometimes. He's throwing banana peels everywhere. Dude, that
Although, if you want to be 100% honest, I don't think Ryu has ever worked a job.
Oh, probably not. That's why they give him that costume where he doesn't shave at all. Like he looks really good with the beard, but in real life he would look like a hobo. He would look like an overly buff hobo with dirty feet.
He'd be a monstrous hobo.
I don't know. Ryu's Ryu. He's never had a job. He just fights a lot. Oh, okay. But finishing up that article, pretty disappointed. Pretty disappointed that CVS 3 wasn't a thing. But Hideki Itsuno, who was one of the minds behind Power Stone, CVS, Devil May Cry, and Dragon's Dogma, expressed more hope for the future by exclaiming, "I haven't retired just yet. There's definitely a part of me that's like, I would love to eventually make Capcom vs. SNK 3. Best of luck. Best of luck to Itsuno-san. I will support this in any way I can because I love CVS."
I did note to you earlier, right, that how clean your execution actually has to be in that game.
Oh yeah. Like I tried picking it up and it's really hard doing combos in that game, dude.
If they were to ever make a 3, I feel that honestly the pacing in 2 is a little slow for my taste. It's interesting because the walk speed is actually good. The main issue that I can see is maybe that normal buttons are a little too low damage, whereas the pacing of you moving around the field is very similar to Street Fighter 2. But it's slowed down because every button that you push is so low damage, but the timer is very fast.
Yeah.
So it creates some weirdness in the pacing but some people love it. Some people love that sort of game.
I would say it's an acquired taste. As far as like modern fighters go, I know people don't like that modern fighters are getting like easier, and I think Button Check also covered this too, where making fighting games easier doesn't exactly equal more sales. Or it might have been Max. Wait, no, it was Max. It was Max. But I think that made a lot of sense to me, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people in the current year that love Street Fighter 5. They love it a lot. There's probably people that like King of Fighters 14. There's a lot of people that probably love modern day fighters like Dragon Ball Z fighters, and I will say it's much easier to do the combos. So when you learn the combos faster, you get to like, I guess, the mind games a little bit faster.
I think that's the trap, though.
What do you mean?
The reason why I don't like the dumbing down of fighters is because they are correct. It doesn't really bring in a new crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly because if you're interested in the game, you're going to naturally practice the combos.
Yeah.
The thing with fighting games is it's not the combos that are the game. The game itself is making the reads and knowing your options of movement. Like if you can't anti-air regularly,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to win no matter how good your combos are. If you don't know how to do your mix-ups, your combos are not going to help you. So if you don't know how to read your opponent's defenses and play around them, and you don't know how to defend against those mix-ups from your opponent,
Mm-hmm.
you technically aren't really playing the game. You're going to be playing a rhythm game where you're practicing combos. And that's the trap, that you're focused on doing something that doesn't help you until you can actually get into a position where you can do those combos.
When I start like a new fighting game, I'll go to training mode and then I'll learn the combo and then I'll try to implement that into playing games over and over and over until I actually do them. Usually, like for me, it takes me about like 2 or 3 hours to learn like a pretty decent optimal combo in like a fighting game. And I'd like to think I'm like slightly above average for like fighting games and stuff. Do you think for like the newer generation, if they had like an easier time like learning combos with like newer fighting games, they could get to like the mind games of like mixing up anti-airing, getting real matchup experience with like other characters and stuff? Do you think they could get to that faster?
Possible, but I'm gonna repeat the point that I really think that this is a trap that a lot of people fall into. It's sort of like boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can throw punches all day. You can hit the bag, you can hit mitts, you can do all that, and it looks really good and it sounds cool because you make those huge snappy pops.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you step into sparring, if your footwork is not there, you're gonna lose. Doesn't matter how hard you can hit. If your footwork's not in place, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you don't know your general ringmanship, where you know how to okay, if I'm approaching the rope, if I'm approaching a corner, a pocket, are we positioned mid? Am I moving this way? Am I moving this way? What's my position relative to my opponent? That fundamentally is more important. So then when it comes to fighting games is you don't actually need combos. They will become more important better off, but you don't need to optimize. You can get away with some very, very basic combos, but have or you just have this amazing defense. Your defense is amazingly tight. Nothing gets in, you give nothing away for free. So jump ins get in, your lows don't get in. The best they can hope for is an occasional throw, but you can do a low medium kick and Hadouken, right? You will win just based off that because your fundamental defense is there versus someone who knows how to kill you in 2 hits, but they don't know any situation of how to get in properly. I guess what I'm trying to say is they shouldn't be spending time learning combos.
Yeah.
The tutorial modes in fighting games should be focused more on spacing fundamentals.
I don't think that's like a substitute for like real time playing though, because then like I don't think I know many people who jump into a fighting game and then the first thing they do is the trial mode. They want to jump into a fighting game and then be able to do some of the combos, and then play against their friends or play against people online. Just get right into it.
That's why I said it's a trap, because once they play someone who has fundamental spacing down, they don't land anything, right? And it feels like they don't really get to play, because just on spacing and knowledge of how to control it properly, essentially at best they get to block. They get a block for a couple seconds before the Ida makes up, and then they just start getting hit again. And they don't quite understand why this guy's combos are hitting and why mine aren't, because they don't understand that it's the space and fundamentals that open up the opportunities for that combo. And I think that's the hardest part about teaching a fighting game, which is why, remember when I was giving you tips on Vampire Savior, I wasn't really telling you how the optimized combos on each of these characters. I was just telling you a general strategy of what to focus on and how to actually play this character. And then I'll just trust that you already know how to play fighting games, so you know how to space yourself properly.
Yeah.
And I think that's far more helpful to get into a game than telling you how to do an optimized combo.
Okay.
And it gets even worse for games like Dragon Ball, Guilty Gear, and the anime fighters, because so many of their optimized combos aren't BMBs. They are based around situation, and some of them are even character specific.
I think I kind of get what you're saying. I know King of Fighters 13 is super infamous for having the most impractical combos of all time, and they are like super hard. They don't necessarily teach you anything except how to do a really good looking combo, I guess. Not the most optimal. Not the most practical. I think that's what Matt is trying to get at. It's like not all of these like combo trials are practical, and you would have to actually play against people or understand the deeper mechanics of a fighting game in terms of how to defend yourself and how to attack.
Or I would say a beginner would have way more fun instead of knowing a combo. We'll give we'll give KOF 13 as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than learning the LDM combo, a beginner would have way more fun if they learned how to roll and short hop properly.
Yeah.
Because if you know how to roll and short hop properly, you can actually play the game rather than try to play combo rhythm game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
To get better at a fighting game, you have to understand what situations are in your favor.
Yep.
And once you know that, then you can start to optimize damage.
Yeah, I think.
And sometimes you have like top tier players who will not go for optimized combos because they fear the drop.
Oh yeah, I think Alex Valle like does that a lot actually. That's why like when I see him like play Third Strike or whatever, he always picks Deijin Ryu because of like the practicality of the character and stuff. He knows exactly how to like counter it, but Deijin Ryu is I would say is a lot easier to play than most of the casts.
Yeah, because all you have to do is get a guaranteed hard knockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then set up Denjin that gives you a free stun, gives you a free jump in, and then you can work on some basic fundamental combos.
Yeah. He plays
even
like
jumping
sweep. What?
Jump in sweep, right? The ultimate beginner combo.
I think Alex Valle is like super good at that. Like across like all games. Like he's like one of those players where he goes for like the easier combos, but the way he plays like the mind games and the way he approaches matchups is very good.
Yeah. He just fundamentally understands the spacing with all the experience that he has.
Yeah, I think that's what makes him really fun to watch because he knows so much about the game, you know?
Yeah, versus John Choi, who is very textbook.
Yes.
The strategy book is written and he follows it to the letter.
I think I watch like Justin. I watch Justin like way too much because then he always goes for like the big flashy combos. Like every time. Every time. Okay. But we are rounding out in terms of time. That's all I got for this week. I'm gonna still be on after a short break. I'm gonna be playing Final Fantasy VII New Threat. If you guys want to join me for that.
New Threat?
Yeah, New Threat. Never heard of it?
No. Oh, what is this? New Threat?
New Threat. It's like a mod. It's a mod for the game for the original Final Fantasy VII, where they change up like a lot of the dialogue to make it, I guess, more understandable for like the new generation. Like they add like a lot of different scenes, and like one of the instances is like
I heard about this. Wait. Is this the one where they change the text so it matches closer to the original translation?
Correct. And they add new dialogue sequences and stuff like that. Like in the beginning for the original Final Fantasy VII, you start with just Barret. So like Cloud is like talking to Barret before they go do the bombing run or whatever. But in this case, you start with Barret and Tifa, and then Tifa makes like additional dialogue pop up. And when you're fighting the Scorpion, apparently Jesse can actually jump into your party and then start fighting along with your party. It looks pretty damn crazy, man. They changed, like, the coolest thing is, like, each of your characters now has, like, a special ability where, I think Cloud's is, like, he gets, like, a damage boost. Barret has, like, a number of defensive options or whatever, depending on whether you put him in the front row or the back row. His auto attack, his initial attack now attacks everybody on the screen. Everybody on the screen is, instead of just like one person. Tifa also has a new ability, and if she dies, she has like I think something called like True Grit or something, which makes her get up with like 1 HP or something. It's super cool. It's super cool, super wacky. I watched Maximilian play some of it, and I wanted to play it for myself, so I couldn't watch the rest of it. But it's run by the Seventh Heaven mod. If you guys are interested, you guys can watch my playthrough a little bit to see if you're interested. But I'll probably send the stuff over to Matt too, because I know Matt's a big time Final Fantasy fan.
It sounds interesting, although I was really put off by the fact that Tifa's in the first battle. I was like, wait, hold on, no.
Dude.
How dare you modify the original story?
There's a lot of like additional stuff. Like it makes the game considerably harder. So I thought like in the past you said as long as the game's fun, I'll keep playing it and stuff. And I feel like they added like a lot of really cool things in the game. And there's like a hard mode where I think you get like half experience. You get half experience all the monsters have double the HP and they go like twice your speed or something. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing that. Matt, you're gonna be working on that new Gene illustration, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Also, I don't think we'll be able to do a Boomer Talk this weekend because I'm gonna be in Florida.
that's okay, man. What are you gonna be in Florida
Um,
for?
got a show called Otaku Fest. Hopefully, see y'all in Miami.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Be sure to check out Matt. Look him up at Neko Mimi Pugs, NEKOMIMIPUNKS. Look for his name at, was it Otaku Fest?
Otaku Fest.
Otaku
I'm in the
Fest.
back, next to the bathrooms.
Go all the way back there. Go all the way back there just to see my brother, Matt. Go see him.
So if you guys play some Third Strike over the weekend, just feel free call up as many people as you know.
Of course, of
I
course.
don't think I'm gonna be able to participate, but you should keep up the gaming channel.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. Boomer Talk isn't the same without Matt, but we will try to schedule something else the following week. But best of luck. Best of luck to my brother from another mother, Matt. In terms of his new genie illustration and his entrepreneur goals during this turbulent time. Check him out at Otaku Fest. But that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for this session of Boomer Talk. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Matt, you want to sign us out?
All right, guys, thanks for joining us once again. Take care, and we'll see you all in a couple of minutes.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Later.